how powerful is your brand and what audience does it speak to? I go back to what you'll hear me say in an investor pitch: the riches are in the niches. If you can command a niche audience, control that pipeline of content, which we do. Like at Reverie, we have what we call an LGBTQ exclusivity. We have it on our content, we have it with our fast channel deals, and we have it with our technology partners. So no one can replicate our service or what we do, because we spent so much time building the television network brand that is Reverie. So we're owning and commanding this funnel for this special interest. And I think the more special interest content and the more special interest channels that you can spin up, then there's another flip side to this. We bring an entirely new audience to Samsung TV Plus that was not their typical user, that they did not have data on before. So by virtue of bringing that new audience, a very affluent audience, worth $965 billion in disposable income in the US, $5 trillion globally. If you bottle the LGBTQ economy, it's the 12th largest economy in the world. I mean, it's undeniable.
I would agree with Damien there. I think you know, I've been through multiple cycles of this kind of environment before, where you know, there's you know, call it vertical integration, right? You know, everyone just saw the you know, the Paramount consent decree you know, has essentially been voided because vertical integration with theaters is no longer the case. But I think, you know, there's an environment now where, you know, I think we're probably facing a regulatory environment down the road where controlling both distribution and then all the content on the platform is, you know, incredibly monopolistic in practice, and is likely going to hit regulatory issues down the road. It happened in broadcast television, it happened in theaters. You know, and if, you know, knock on wood, you have a Democratic Senate, Congress, and so on, I would suspect that you know, a lot of this very deep vertical integration of content and distribution is going to be at some considerable risk, because it's a serious conflict of interest. You know, and it's self-dealing, and it's not tolerated in the cable environment. It's heavily regulated. I think we'll see more regulation around that in the OTT environment. But let's put that aside for a second, because it may be unfair for a while. But as Damien said, as the big platforms look to do vertical integration, you know, take a look at Netflix. You know, is Netflix, we've seen, for example, every time they enter a niche or a vertical, scares the hell out of everyone who makes their money in that vertical. But what you end up finding out really is they cream off the top 5% of the content, the users, the big money, and they leave 95% unfilled. So, you know, that happened in the anime space. Netflix came in and carpet bombed with money and, you know, bought Yu-Gi-Oh! And other big shows. But they left huge gaps in the market that allow for a very flourishing environment for Funimation and Crunchyroll and High Dive and others to really survive. So I think, you know, and that's really, it's the, you know, I would call it the mile wide, inch deep strategy. The big guys come in, carpet bomb with, you know, $500 million and take off some of the really pristine content, but they can never super serve the niches because there's too many niches to super serve. And that's, and when we talk about a niche, you know, you think about cable and linear was really built on niches. It's evolved over time into the TNTs and TBSs and the evolution that history has made, not because, really because these are part of public companies that, you know, they have to show massive profit growth year over year over year. I think there's there's room for very robust niche, but I do agree that you can't be wholly dependent on any one platform. I think that's a recipe for really getting yourself in a jam if that platform wants to compete head on with you.